men on television complaining. They complain with their finances. Their dollars speak for them. Jews do not go and borrow money from anybody. They fund themselves. They're probably the most powerful people financially. Their money speaks for them. What did we do instead when George Floyd gets killed and many others were on the street? We make noise and that's it. If everybody that protested could put $1 and say, yes, we want to protest, but we're also going to do something about it. Now we could get somewhere. We could get somewhere. Translate those voices into finances. Let's make that bridge. Let's create that bridge. Let's take a page from the Jews. Let's understand that as Black people, we are the most endangered species on earth. Let's also make a commitment that how long are we going to allow this carnage to go on? How long are we going to continue to be stupid? It's about the finances, my brothers and sisters. If we do not bring our finances together, if we do not understand that my $85 a month for a year is an investment in not only myself, but my children, my grandchildren, and generations to come, then who are we? What is the solution? Understand that the brain drain out of Africa started over 400 years ago with the children of Africa who were being taken out of Africa as slaves. Remember when they were choosing which Africans to take out as slaves, they chose the fittest, the smartest, that who they felt would sustain and survive the rigorous journey across the Atlantic, followed by those who have left Africa in recent years in search of greener pastures, some running away from famine and wars. But the end result is Africans around the world are building other nations while we are allowing our beloved continent to languish or be exploited. The colonizers have been in Africa for centuries. All they have succeeded at doing is building infrastructure designed to do nothing but extract resources out of Africa. That's all they have done, and that's all they plan to continue to do. We're the only ones who can change that paradigm. And that means the African diaspora must wake up. That means the African diaspora must understand what is really going on and not understand Africa from the eyes of the colonizers, from the eyes of the media that have chosen to paint Africa as a diseased and dying continent in need of rescue. Let's understand our Africa as African diaspora. Let's understand our role. It's very difficult for African businessmen in Malawi, in Botswana, to think continental. They're struggling to make a living in that little bitty country with all the restrictions and the difficulties of reaching to the country next door, to then ask that same businessman to think continental. But the people who can help with that bridge, the people who are already integrated in a way, people who can come to Africa with an integrated mind, are the children of Africa in the diaspora.
All right. All right. Thank you for joining me. I hope I can be heard. If somebody comes into the room when you hear this, let me know. If would you type one if you can hear the audio okay? Could you let me know if the audio is coming across okay? All right. Thank you for joining me. My name is Jaquab Ben Israel, and I want to give thanks to my Heavenly Father, Earthly Mother, for this incredible opportunity to be a light while I am in this reality. Again, thank you for joining me to my channel. This is a channel for brethren who are called faithists. Hey, bro. All right. Thank you. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Thanks, brother. Thank you for letting me know. Oh, Dave. All right. I got a full house. All right, man. I hope that I'm going to read something that is going to bless you, brethren. I have something I'm going to be reading, and I hope that it really blesses your soul. Again, thank you for joining me on my channel where I'm just a brother, and I just happen to I can't even explain why I believe in God. I believe in the Creator. That's all I don't even really know why. All my life it's been like that. So my channel, as I've grown, I just believe that I was created to share how Creator treats me, what He's taken me through in my reality, and then turn around, just share it with other brethren, and then see if maybe it resonate with them, maybe not. I'm not trying to say that I'm all I know everything. I'm here to just try to serve and be a living testimony that the creator exists, and that he has a plan, and that his plan is basically people. So once again, thank you for joining me. I'm going to make a little change from the way I used to acknowledge the angels. I'm just going to scroll through all of them because on the weekends I don't do videos anymore, so I don't read all the angels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just scroll them and just let you read what we can say to acknowledge them. And then that way I just cover all of them. So I'm going to start with the angel, the first one. And again, the order don't really matter, but it's just trying to teach you to be thankful for the things that are done for us in the spirit that we don't see. And really, that's 100% of what our reality is. It's really, and you read the OAHSPE Bible, it says the things that we don't see, they really have control over the things that we see in our reality. It's the things that we do not see that are ultimate reality. The things we see is not eternal. It's not ultimate reality. It's temporary. It's for a while. It's to teach us about spiritual things that are unseen. That's what the Creator said. Now, I was playing a video real quick. Here, let me scroll. I'm going to scroll. And these are the angels. And so I'm doing it differently now because during the weekends, I don't get a chance to acknowledge them. So from now, I'm just going to scroll them, and then you can acknowledge them in your own way. The Essene Bible, Essene Gospel of Peace, it gives you words, but you can basically learn the angels, and then you can acknowledge them in your own way. The whole point is just to try to learn to be thankful. Now, I was playing a video of a woman, and South African woman, and she was making an appeal to her people to get together, come together, and learn a lesson from Israel, learn a lesson from the Jews about how small they are, yet they run the finances, the global finances of the world. And she was making an appeal that Africa, all the nations of the world, they come to rape Africa of her resources. And she was saying that we are really the ones that are the most powerful, but we can't get together. So therefore, we can't wield any authority. We can't wield any power because we can't get together. So she was trying to make that appeal. And I was watching it, and if I were totally 100% about the world, about the earth, the way I used to be, and then I would really, appreciate. I mean, I can appreciate somebody like her who she stands up and she's trying to do for her people, and you got to respect that. But when you begin to elevate and you become more spiritual than earthly, than physical, then you realize you see things differently. And what she was saying, if you apply that to a spiritual understanding, then that's what the Creator is all about. I believe He shows us an example of what true power is, and it's in unity. And we're in a time right now where, brothers and sisters, faithists, we are being told to gather together spiritually, become unified as brethren who believe in the Creator. And the name of the video is called the Ormazdian Law. The Ormazdian Law. And there are 3 laws that the OAHSPE speaks about, to the best of my knowledge. And the Ormazdian Law, the Zarathustrian Law, there's the Ormazdian Law. I'm butchering that, but those are 3 laws that you read about in the OAHSPE. Today I'm going to cover the Ormazdian Law. It's called the Ormazdian Law, and you just got to love it, because it shows you, the Creator is showing you, see, He's got an order too. That lady whose video I was playing, at the beginning of the video, I mean, I kind of felt sorry for her, because if they haven't learned to get together by now, I'm a so-called Negro, born a Negro. I don't like the term black man. I think black is pejorative. It connotes negativity. I'm a Negro. I'm a Hebrew, ethnically. A Hebrew Israelite, ethnically. I used to be one doctrinally, but I'm not theologically, but not anymore. I'm ethnically a Hebrew, but not theologically anymore. And so what I mean when I say that is I still realize that I belong carnally to a oppressed people, the Negro, historically an oppressed people. And a lot of times I still see the world through carnal eyes and the things that the oppression that we have went through. So if we haven't, and we're not a together people, we have a spirit on us that will not let us really get together like the Jews. And the Jews, very, very small number of people, but I think that there's a spiritual element. Now, again, the lady, she was saying a lot of good stuff, but spiritually, I can't see how she can implement her best ideas. I think it's a spiritual thing with the condition of the peoples of the world that we're in the condition we are because it was ordained of the Creator for whatever reason. And I think in the end, when it all washes out, then we all are going to praise the Creator for the way that things. It's kind of like I remember somebody talking. He said, "Life is like a play. You look at a play, you look at a movie. People are playing parts, and then you got a villain, you got a heroine, and then at the end of the play, they close the curtain, and then the characters come out. They take a bow. The villain, they applaud the villain. They applaud the heroine. They applaud the good people and the bad people. And, you know, it's like equivalent to you go to a movie and then they roll the credits at the end. And you say, man, it was all a play. It was all a play. And call me kooky, but I think that you can say the same thing about reality. It's like for a faithist, for a spiritual brother or sister, it's like we got this thing inside of us. I don't know. Let me just speak for myself, man. I just keep looking. I just cannot help myself. I keep looking 50 to 100 years ahead of time. I can't explain it. I've done it I can't remember when I started doing that. I think I do remember one time in my life where on the front lawn of our house, in the house that I grew up in the front yard, we lived on a hill. And I remember one time I laid down in front and I was looking up at the sky. And it's like I just recall thinking that, I just started questioning in my mind things. And I think from that point, I just started thinking to myself, like, how do I get to the, where is the final, what is the end of all of this? You know what I mean? I think when you're younger, you at some point you start questioning, things around you, things you can't understand. And I think that was one point, and it set me on a course of wondering about how do I get, the end of the road, where is that place? Who knows what's going on there? Can someone tell me? And now I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying. I'm just trying to describe the type of, and I believe faithists are like this, other brethren, spiritual brothers and sisters. You want to know what's behind the curtain. Strong desire. Here's a food ministry I have where I can be contacted, trying to target orphans and elderly and disabled and indigent brethren who may have food insecurities. But I don't see how I would turn away anybody that's struggling like that. Here's my room where I like to try to invite other faithists to come and have fellowship. And then I try to share things. And I'm going to scroll slowly as I'm talking here. Just scroll it real slow. And then if you want, you can stop the video. If you see something and you like it, you want to see what it says, you can just, I'm going to be talking until I get to the reading. So what was I saying? Just trying to share about being able to look like way, way far away into the future when everything is said and done, so to speak. I forgot to put the link in the room. Bear with me. I forgot to put the link in the room. So if anybody wants to come in, you can hit the link. If at any time I start talking and then you want to come in, you want to share anything, you just hit the link and I'll bring you in. It's going to be a fantastic reading. The reading is going to be fantastic. One thing you got to love the Creator is that he basically, when you like the faithist, it's like one way that you can hear his voice is you get a witness in your soul. I mean, you get a witness in your soul. You just get a witness, man. We've been through deception. I'm sure, talking to other brethren, faithless brethren and sisters. And the beautiful thing, one of the things I like, people don't even have to be like we are. They don't have to join our number. And they can still be spiritual. Because Jehovah, he said that even people that don't know his name, he said they could be spiritual as well. And so, faith is, though, we do have the benefit of having the desire to know his word, being able to answer according to the will of the Creator, why things are, how things go the way they go in this reality, and having that comfort, and also elevating in our spirit, knowing that the more we elevate in this, knowing what the will of the Creator is, and then basically we know how to take advantage of this reality. We know how to take advantage of it. And that's the basic advantage that faith is, from what I can see, as I have lived, what it's all about. That we have an advantage in knowing what we should do, what you should do with your reality. What you should do with your reality. I was talking now Friday again. I had an incident, or was it Thursday? It might have been Thursday or Friday. I had another reminder of the light and the darkness. Another reminder, man. And I was sharing it, how I was came across a video. I came on the channel of the video. They were doing a live. Got on there, was trying to share the OAHSPE Bible. And it was another reminder that there is people who say they know and they don't know anything. I'm talking about religious people. And they don't know nothing, man. And it show you, when I see people like this now on video, and I hear them talking about ignorance and darkness, I know it right away. And I ain't trying to sound proud. I went on this channel. It was the Hebrew Israelites. I'm negative about them, but the bondage that they are in, it's a terrible thing, man. I mean, it's a terrible thing. You'd think that people would be able to hear, just like in the scriptures, it talks about there will come a time when men will no longer be able to hear sound doctrine. That's in the Bible. It's in 1 Timothy, I think. It says there will come a time when men will no longer be able to hear sound doctrine, and we are in that time. And the benefit for faith is number one, we're well aware of the beast kingdom, man. We are well aware of the beast kingdom, which is religion, which is captivity, which is slavery. And when we cross over, the world don't believe in, a lot of the world don't believe in like spirit realms and things that happen after crossover, this sort of thing. And faith, this we do. That's one of the benefits that we have. And we know what bondage looks like in this reality. I would rather be someone who does not believe in the Creator, but I'm spiritual, rather than to be someone who is spiritual and is involved with religion. Because one of the things I love to try to do on my channel is talk about deity worship and idolatry. Idolatry. I mean, you can equate what goes on in the spiritual with what goes on in the physical. Like in this reality, one thing that I have seen is that, like, I like to talk about relationships and things that I've seen people do. And Some people will do anything to get somebody else. And most notably, you hear stories about women who, I mean, they really go after it when they want somebody. They really are good at expressing themselves and going for it. I've seen and I've heard accounts of what they will do when it comes to maybe some guy and they want him. And I remember Oprah Winfrey. Hey, Jamia, peace, love, and light, sister. Peace, love, and light. Looking forward to seeing you Wednesday in the Bible study. Looking forward to seeing you again, sis. So to give you an example, I remember a story about Oprah Winfrey. Her boyfriend, he was wanting to break up with her or something, and they had a fight. And she said she jumped on the windshield. She jumped on the hood of his car as he was driving away. So there he was driving, speeding down the street with her hanging on to the front windshield. I don't mean to laugh, man, but it shows you, how people, they will do anything. Some people will stalk you, Some people, they will stalk other people. And, they just get crazy for some people. It's the same thing in the spirit. And the false gods are even worse. They will say anything. They will do anything to get you into their kingdom. And then when I heard, matter of fact, I read a story. A lot of you brethren have heard of Puff Daddy, Diddy, entertainer. This guy's got a spirit on him, man. That dude has got a spirit on him, And he's a Scorpio, and he's acting just like one, man. Sex. Got a problem with sex, It's always somewhere there in the background when a Scorpio makes the news. It's more likely than not always got something to do with sex. And so the account was talking about all the problems that he was having and the illicit activities that he was involved with and the crazy things that this guy was doing in order to, like one girl was telling the story. I don't want to get involved in being a tattletale, but my point is this, that there are spirits in the world, and they come from these types of spirits that I'm talking about, from what I've seen in my reality, they come from false gods. They can persuade. They send back their mortals from the atmospherian realm, those who have passed on. And these, from what I understand, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, they send these spirits back to people on earth, and these familiar spirits, they influence people on earth because they know that mortals will listen to kindred people who have passed on. The OAHSPE talks about this. That's why the Creator said he had to forbid it. He said at first he used familiar spirits to convince mortals of life after death. And then, from what I could see, the false gods, they started saying, hey, when you go back and when you talk to your son or your daughter, when you talk to your cousin, make sure you tell them to become a Catholic. Make sure you tell them to become a Muslim, because that's the real God. And people, they wake up, they say, man, I had a dream that my mom was telling me to go to the nearest mosque and become a Muslim. Now, this is what the OAHSPE says that happens to people. Familiar spirits, and then they get influenced, and then they make that decision, and then they learn too late. You become a slave. You go to the God you worship. And so if it weren't for the OAHSPE letting us know that, we would all be headed to captivity. At one time, all we had was the Bible. That's all we had. And so it was almost like he forced us to be deceived. He forced us to be deceived, because what I'm going to read, it talks about how, man, he needs to believe in something. He should get to a point as he grows that he starts saying, I need to believe in something. My soul, I got questions. So there are people that they get to that part, they start turning to the spiritual, and then there are brethren who they don't. They just look at the physical, and it's like that's good enough for them. And so why am I saying all this? Just to I think just to make a point about the seriousness of what we're involved with, brethren that are subscribed to being faith, as opposed to those who are not. But again, like I was saying, I would rather not believe in any God or be in any religion rather than be in a religion and call myself spiritual, because deity worship, idolatry, they will do anything. That's the point I was making about those entertainers, Oprah Winfrey and Diddy. And evidently, spirits, they have power to influence us to go in this direction or go in that direction. And you learn when it's, from what I could read, the OAHSPE, you learn when it's too late that you've been deceived. Now, here's some verses that I have in my room that I've been sharing that are, one of them is pretty interesting, but I'm going to read a couple. Now, in my room, you can send me a link. And what I try to do, I love to read, I love to read the spiritual books. I love to do studies. It's right in my wheelhouse, man. If ever a brother found his life, his soulmate, his interest, the Creator has allowed me to do it with learning this word and knowing the difference, at least till now, of deception and truth and what is truth and what is deception. And it's something that I'm really amazed. I was listening again to there was a meeting. Some people, a group of people, they opened up a meeting and they let anybody from the public listen in. And basically what it was about was what's going on in Gaza, the killing. And they were sitting up there trying to find a solution to what's going on, the killing of women and children. I don't know if you brethren have heard, but there was terrible, terrible, terrible bombing the other day where basically Israel, they in that place over there, you may have heard of it, called Rafah, where people are displaced, homeless. Imagine that if that was you. You got nowhere to go and you got children, 3 or 4 of them, man. And here you got no place to live. You living in a tent out in the desert. You just came from being displaced 2 months ago from the home you lived in, They said, go here and you'll be saved. You go there. And they start bombing that. Can you imagine that, brother? See, we're kind of numb to that because it ain't happening to us. It ain't happening to us. But that's what's going on over there right now. And they bombing the hell out of those people. Israel. It's like Israel saying, hey, the cat's out of the bag. We might as well fill the cup now. See, they done reached the point of no return now. Meaning they showing their true colors, at least the prime minister, of that country, prime minister, a Scorpio, and his wife is one. So you see the condition the world is in. You got people in power. They operating on the lower vibration, and the whole damn world is going to pay. And me, I see the creator in it. He's saying the time has come to tear down this system and to establish the kingdom of God. And so you got these damn Scorpios all over the place working on their lower vibration, which is revenge and death, and places of power. You got Benjamin Netanyahu, he's a Scorpio. His wife is one. Joe Biden is one. Kamala Harris. And so we are perfectly lined up for the destruction of this reality as we know it. And he's raised them up to do it. So, and according to their lower vibration, this guy is bombing them over there, taking no mercy on them, wanting to drop. And really, it is a genocide going over there. And that, do you know that would be us? If we were, we would be in, unsure, we would be in their situation. They wouldn't say that, oh, well, we got some Americans over here. That's the situation that's going on. And I was at this meeting and they were basically saying, we got to stop this guy. We got to stop this guy. They don't know that, hey, man, this thing is decreed to be allowed to happen. This is a spiritual thing going on, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. There ain't nothing you can do about it. What's going on in the world right now? Baby, it ain't nothing you can do about it. The creator, it's like we won't listen unless he gets a little drag. He allows us to see, we have to see it in order to something to get our attention. So we're in a situation now. We see Dave says, the Hebrew Israelites simply will not test the spirits. Yeah, absolutely. The Hebrew Israelites simply will not test the spirits. Any Drusian spirit can take the name. That's what the OAHSPE says. It says that familiar spirits, they begin to give mortals any desirable name that would make them be more than what they were. Familiar spirits. And that's why the creator, he had to forbid it and give us Ashars and Asaphs, angels who watch over us. They guide us. They kind of guide our reality to elevation. If we desire to elevate, then he give us Ashars and Asaphs. And they kind of, it's like they go before you. They clear the way before you. I think they let you come into affliction every now and then, you know what I mean? To test you, to shape you. Yeah, you're right, Dave. The Hebrew Israelites, man. The Hebrew Israelites. When I think about them now, I can't believe it. I cannot believe I was one. I mean, if there's one thing I give thanks for probably 100 times a day is that the creator got me out. He got me out. He got me out. He got me out, man. There was a time I couldn't even see anything was wrong with killing your child in the name of God. Killing, and ask them. They'll tell you, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. And I can't see if someone is trying to get on to the show. I can't see. I got the screen where I can't see that. You have to let me know in the chat if you're backstage. So the way I got the screen configured, I can't see. So let me know in the chat if you're trying to get on. It's kind of hard as it is to watch everything and think and talk and respond, and so, but I'm doing the best I can. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head, Dave. They are one big school book for me of how it goes spiritually, and you can't talk. They cannot hear sound doctrine. That is a group, and to me, I think that people that the creator, he command you to learn from how what other people say and do in this reality. That's one way that you should be able to learn so that you can mature. You look at people, you see how they go about their reality, and then you look at the fruits, whether the fruits are positive and negative, meaning the results. And then that's one way that you learn. You let the creator talk to you. Let him talk to you, and that's how you stay on the road, man. Stay on the right road. That meeting, that fellowship that I was listening to the other day, they was talking about we got to get together. We got to take the government back. That video of the lady I was playing, and I like her, man. That lady that I was playing before I came on, boy, I love her, man. I really like her. She's my type of woman, man. But I said that all of her solutions are carnal. They're all carnal. They're all carnal. See, in Matthew, you remember in the book of Matthew, I think it was, in King James, the Bible, Satan, he said that all these things, you remember? I think it was Matthew chapter 4. He made that deal with, he tried to make a deal with Jesus Christ. He showed Jesus Christ the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. And he said, all these things, hey, I'll give you all these things. I'll give you all these things, man. If you fall down and worship me, it said he showed Jesus Christ the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. He said, I'll give all this to you, man. I'll give it all to you. You know, just fall down and worship me. I'll give it to you. Now, it said Jesus Christ didn't do it, but you know, some people did. So I can't say it because I'll get in trouble. They'll probably shut my channel down. You know what I mean? That it has 4 letters in the word. Okay. I don't want to get my channel shut down, but you know what I mean? You know who I'm talking about? You know, with all the fighting going over there and doing the bombing, you know what I mean? You get it? You know who I'm referring to? They took that deal. They had to have. They're the smallest people on the face of the earth, and they own everything financially. You know what I mean? Do you get it? You know what I'm talking about, right? They took that deal. There's no other explanation for having that much clout for the size of people that you are. You know what I mean? So I forgot my point that I was trying to make. But the thing that lady was talking about, her solutions were all carnal. The on Twitter, it was all carnal. Their solutions are all carnal, and it cannot work. It cannot work. It's too late now. They made that deal with Satan. They took that deal. He gave them the kingdoms of the world. Fractional reserve banking. You brother know what that is? Fractional reserve banking. You know what that is, right? I'll loan you $1, but you got to pay me back $9 in return. You know what I mean? Fractional reserve banking, right? They got turned on to that. They also got turned on to speaking with one voice. I'm talking about the Jews. They're a tribe. They got a tribal mentality, and it gave them the kingdoms of the world. Kingdoms of the world. And now it's too late. There's nothing that, all this talk about getting together that the lady of the video that was before my live that she was doing is too late. It's too late, man. People don't let go of power, especially after they've been able to institutionalize it to the extent they have now. You ain't getting it. You ain't, what's the name of that song? Yeah, Dave, I know you. Yeah, I know you know who I'm talking about. Too legit to quit. Too legit to quit. What does he says something like, I gotta get mine. Nobody's taking it away. No, because Hammer don't play that. That's exactly what they say, man. I got mine. Ain't nobody taking it away because we don't play that. They don't play that, brother. They got their system and set in stone, and you ain't taking none of that away from them. Okay? But let's just make that clear. Let's just make that clear. So you hear the nations of the world, they get on there, they start talking about we gotta take our country back. And hey, look, listen, brother, you ain't taking a stinking thing back. Okay? So let's just cut that out right away. You ain't getting a stinking nickel back. All right? So the sooner you understand that, then the better it'll be. Because the only one who can legislate morality is the Creator. He's the only one that can do it, man. Because as long as you got money in the world, you got corruption, brother. You're going to be able to corrupt somebody who will sell out. So, a verse that I posted in my room here. In God's heavenly place, OAHSPE. OAHSPE is the name of a place. It means chosen of the light. Chosen of the light, OAHSPE. It says in God's heavenly place, OAHSPE. Jehovah said, for my chosen on the earth of Abram. And these are the major religions: Abram, Poe, Brahma, Iwatha. I don't know if Iwatha is. I think it is. It's telling the God is saying, provide a place in OAHSPE. Talking about my chosen, for when they die, for they shall not dwell in the lowest heavens. For the infants of my chosen who die in infancy, like abortion, do not allow them to be engulfed in Hada. Now I forget what Hada is. That's the lower heavens and atmosphere, right? Do not allow them. That's chaos, isn't it? Hada. It says, but bring them also to the place of my God. See, the Creator's plan, See, the world, they ain't got no solutions. They ain't got no solutions. They up here talking about we got to take our country back. Hey, brother, you know what? You ain't getting a stinking thing back. It's too late. They don't know the Creator. And all in that meeting I went to, they spent 4 or 5 hours. And then one person, he tried to bring us spirituality. They didn't want to hear it. So the one solution, the false gods have made it so that they can't hear the solution. The one possible solution to the kingdom, for the kingdom of men to make it, they will not listen. So don't want it. So the Creator said, okay, that's all right. That's all right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it secretly. See, I'm going to do it secretly. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Jamia. Hell, Hada is hell. See, Hada right here. Yep. Hada, that's hell. Creator says, my chosen who die in infancy, do not allow them to be engulfed in Hada, but bring them also to the place of my God. Dave says, Iwata was provided for. Yeah. Oh, okay. You know what? I've heard Turtle Island. Now you give me a reason to check it out. Okay. Iwata was provided for the Thetis of Gautama. Okay. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna check that out. Turtle Island. I heard about that. So see, again, the earth, you brethren, I'm geopolitically minded. That means that I look at the world, the political situation of the world. I want to see how people deal with each other. Because I know the OAHSPE is true. I know it's true, man. You know, at the end of the day, it ain't really how much you know. It's how do you deal with each other. Can you say at the end of the day, I gave more than I took? Can you say that? If you could say, you know what, today was a good day, man, because I gave more than I received. If you could say that, one thing I know about the OAHSPE, you home free. You are home free, brother. You home free, man. If you can make that testimony, you know, that I wanted to give more than I received, you home free. That's the lesson right there. You home free, man. Because the kingdom is about people who are their top flight. Their mind is, I want to do for my brother. I want to do, and that's all the Creator's saying. I'm going to gather them. I'm going to gather them, and I'm going to bring them to my kingdom. It's going to be a kingdom, and here you get tested. You know, can you do it without even seeing it in real time, knowing that this place exists? Maybe it don't exist. Maybe we just believe a lie. Can you still believe in the Creator? Something called the Creator. Can you believe this word? See, the earth is we're getting tested, you know. But all the solutions of the world, they always only talk about lower heaven. What's a good word for wisdom of men as opposed to the wisdom of God? It's all wisdom of men, and it can never work. They sitting up here after all these thousands of years talking about how are we going to make it work? What can we do? How can we take it back? We got to elect people. No, that's the old Yike Quad. That's Curtis Hughes. I don't want no part of him. I was going to cuss and say, basically, why can't you learn that men ain't going to stop being corrupt unless they get touched by the Creator? And really, the Creator's in all of us. All you have to do is just change your mind. That's all that just change your mind, read, get a little knowledge, learn how to shape your soul, how to think in your mind, what to do in this reality. And that's all it is right there. You know, you home free. That's all the OAHSPE is. That's all it is right there. Creator is telling you to do right by others. And you don't need to really learn to know how to do that. He give you knowledge so that you can give an answer. And you ain't going to convince anybody anyway. Now, I hope I'm wrong, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So, all the wisdom of the world, and you're ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Just like the Bible say, ever learning, university, school, master, PhD. You got all this learning, you haven't made 1 year, and you're still this whole world, man. As long as like people over there in tents getting bombed, you can't tell me you revolve. You'll never tell me that. You know, try to tell the Creator, he's just gonna laugh at you. He's just gonna laugh at you, man. And the mark the Lord put upon the drops was the shadow of blood, which being interpreted is war. the distinguishing characteristic of Druk and their descendants. And the Lord God said, by this sign, the tribes of Druk and their descendants shall be known to the end of the world by wars. Wars. When all the best spirit, now I believe this could happen to you, brethren, you faithless brethren. You should really look at that scripture right there. See, it's things like that that should encourage a brother or sister to be strong in the faith, man. You know, look at that verse right there I got on the screen. Can you see it okay? I want to change my screen so that you can see more of the screen and less of me. Now, if I start dancing here, I'll probably end up blowing up the computer. See if I can. You guys can see that screen, right? I trust you can see it okay. If I don't want to start dancing because I'll mess it up. I'll blow up the screen and end up crashing the video. You know, I don't want to mess up, man. You know, I already do that enough. Let me see. Looking at the screen. Okay, now if I leave it like that, then I can see it pretty good. Okay, I guess it's all right. So anyway, check it out, man. Look at that. When all the best spirits of the lower heaven, that's where we are right now. And those who dwelt with mortals, it says, we're taken away. Oh, thanks, Dave. Okay, thank you. Check it out. It says, when all the best spirits of the lower heaven and those who dwelt with mortals were taken away and domiciled in Yeshua, which means salvation, the heavenly kingdom of salvation. There were only Druge spirits, which are spirits of darkness, left on the face of the earth. For 1 whole year, God left the earth void of Jovi's light. That could happen again. I perceive that may happen again. I perceive that may happen again, where he removed what the world calls the rapture. That the Creator, it's like he's saying, okay, you don't want my people. They tried to share with you. They tried to warn you. They tried to bless you. You don't okay, you don't like them. You don't want them. You don't believe them. You don't care for them. All right. Y'all just come on home. You know, y'all just come home for a year. You know, just come over here to Wyoming, to this big ranch that I'm going to go ahead and separate y'all from the world. Let them have it out to them. Let them have their own solutions. You know what I mean? It could happen. He did it once. He could do it again. Who knows how many times he done did it. Removed his people, you know. All right. You don't want to listen to him? I tried to tell you. It ain't no good for me to whoop you. You know. You'll just get more and more corrupt and evil, you know. So I'm going to turn you over to your own will. To your own will. Let me just turn you over. But those who will not become Essenes, signifying having separated from corporal desire, being spirits of drugs, mortals and hard bound to the earth, shall be called Druge, signifying wandering spirits of darkness and of evil. See, the Creator, he don't force you, man. You know, he ain't going to force you. Druges return to mortals and fasten upon them as fetals and as familiars and inspire them to evil. Now, in this day and age, I don't see how they do it still, because I read the OAHSPE. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You know, the Creator, he said he put an end to it because they were influencing the barbarians. It says they were arousing them, and they were coming back, and they were misrepresenting themselves. the familiar spirits. They were meant to come back and to tell mortals, hey, eternal life is real. It's real. It's real, man. Take it from me. I used to be your dad in your reality, and I'm telling you the truth, And the creator said he put a stop to it, and he started to give. Now I could be wrong. I think that's what how I understand it. So he gave us Ashars and Asaph. Now I could be mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But at one time he used familiar spirits. Whether they are still, I think, I don't know how it works. I tend to think they still appear, But I read where the creator said he allowed it, and then he discontinued it. My understanding might be faulty. I mean, I just tend to think they're still here. Familiar spirits influencing people. Maybe it was him, I don't know, talking about his own people, that he prevented that and gave them Asaphs and Ashars, the guardian angels and the angels who receive you after mortal leave this mortality. They come, the Ashars hand this over to the Asaphs. The Asaphs are like, when you check into a hotel, here's your room, Mr. Israel. You're on the 3rd floor. You got a view of the ocean. You get 3 meals a day, and you get snacks at night. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to show you, Ashars, they guardian angels with us in this reality, and then you got the Asaphs, and they check you in and your spiritual reality, and and then again, from what I understand, we cross over and then we go to school. We go, okay, what university? What do you want to do? when you grow up, Yeah, that's the way it goes. And correct me if I'm wrong, man. Oh man, it's about time for the reading. So here's my room. Some of the things that I like to post and share. I don't think my sister gave me anything to read, to give you for the metaphysical word. So let me just scroll a little more, and just so you can, hopefully somebody will want to join, and click. I think I have a link in the description box. You can click in, join the room. So here's some more little things. I didn't realize I'm going to be late for the reading. Oh, you can stop the screen, check this stuff out. Hopefully it'll grab you, and you'll want to join. And you know what I wanted to do real quick? I'm starting to get into herbals, man. I'm starting to get into it because the home care lady came over, and she showed me my wound on my left foot. I mean, the right was all but done. I closed it. The creator, he closed it, and then I accidentally opened it. I scraped it against something right at its tender stage, and then opened it back up again. And now he's almost closing it. He's almost closing it again. Right? So I wanted to turn you, brethren, on to something. I've been, I attribute it to taking, Brother Selah, he's got that bittersweet herbals. So I started taking that. And I also been doing a little studying, and, I read where you could put aloe vera and olive oil on the wound and it'll close it. But in any case, the wound, I looked at it and I was in shock that it's closing fast now. I'm going to be back on my feet in no time, ripping and running. Gonna be a while though. I've been in a chair for 4 years now. My legs feel like 1,000 pounds each. Look at some of this stuff that I've been looking at on the internet, like herbals and stuff. Look at this stuff. And I looked at the ingredients of that bittersweet herbals that Brother Sila that he sells. It's basically what this stuff is. All this stuff is in that drink that he sells. Look at this stuff. See, remember, even the Bible says the good of the earth is talking about even the medicines that come out of the earth. You know, stuff for anemia, stuff for your liver, your kidneys, your mind. You know, look at all this stuff, man. You know, it's a billion things in the earth, man, that you can take for your situation. See, this is stuff the American Medical Association, they don't want you to know about. Look at this stuff. The name of it alone tell you it's some serious stuff, man. Look, guaco, you know, you got guaco, you got bark powder, cascara, you got queen of the meadow, you got black walnut hull, you got kelp, you got lungwort, bladderwrack. That's bound to work, brother. Irish moss tea, olive leaf, dandelion root. Give me a shot of sarsaparilla, soursop, blue vervain, burdock root. Hey, bro, you got some yellow dock on you. Man, I'm hard up for some yellow dock, brother. Yellow dock root powder? Yeah, Hawaiian. Bugleweed. Hey, brother, you got any bugleweed on you? Bugleweed? Ayurveda? That's what I take right now. But all this stuff, you can get it, mix it together. And that's what, you put all that in your body from the earth, natural stuff, herbals, you're good to go. Anyway, so let me go ahead with the reading real quick. The name of the video is the Ormazdian Law. And basically, this is it right here. I'm going to share. And then I want to read from Frag and Patty, chapter 34, if I get a chance. And hopefully, somebody will, you brethren, we can, for dialogue's sake, if, again, remember, when I'm reading or I'm saying something and you decide you want to come, I can't see the backstage again. I can't. You have to let me know if you're backstage, meaning you want to come on. You got to let me know in the chat. Tell me you're waiting to come on, and then I'll bring you into the room. Okay. I mean, my channel is all about trying to get discussion going. You tell me what you think about some I've read or, something that gets your attention. I'm trying to really get it to where we can talk to one another about these things. They was doing all that talking about men's solutions. We got to get together. We got to vote. We got to elect people. You're never going to get it, man. May the great God bless the reading of his word. This is called the Ormazdian Law. When you read the OAHSPE Bible, you see the Ahura Law. I think it's called the Ahura Mazdi Law, Ahura Mazdi. And it talks about basically, I forget the differences between them. You got the Zarathustrian Law, which is like the 10 Commandments. And these are basically equal to like rites and oaths that, ceremonies that a faithist would take, or what he would be under. Let's bless ourselves and read this word from a study. This is a study guide you should be able to see on the screen. Really, really blessing to read this, man. OAHSPE talks about the Ormazdian Law. This person kind of breaks it down, make it simple for you. And it says, Jehovah said, my God and Lords shall provide comprehensively comprehensively. And then when you click on that link, it says comprehensively means one unified plan. One unified plan. So that all peoples on earth and in heaven may be drawn toward me in harmony and discipline. So, same way in China as in America. All the faithists, we're going to be under one set of orders. We're going to be under one discipline. We're going to be one people. We're going to be one. We're going to be characteristic one way. It ain't going to be cultural. It ain't going to be traditional. It's all one faith, one, just like the motto of, one nation under God, indivisible and with liberty and justice for all. That's the way it's going to be in the faithist community. Faithist. It says, God said, I, God of earth, being made div by Jehovah's will through his son, Pragapati, heard the Creator's voice saying, now when you see that div, D-I-V, div, it's like saying the prime minister. Div is like the prime minister. Diva is like the House of Representatives, the Congress. Okay? To try to simplify it. Try to remember that. Div is like the prime minister. I might even just keep changing the word for overstanding's sake. It says, God said, I, God of earth. So this is a God of the earth, not the creator, but a God of the earth. Someone appointed by the creator. It says, God said, I, God of the earth, being made prime minister by Jehovah's will. Through his son, Pragapati, heard the creator's voice saying, Div, my son, is the title, Div. Proclaim the Ormazdian law and the Mazdian law. And the Zarathustrian law. Okay, so the creator is telling his God, proclaim these three laws. Proclaim these three laws. God said, this then is the Ormazdian law. Ormaz, which is a name for the creator, displays his creations which he created. He set the stars in the firmament. These are the words of the book of the Almighty. He made the substances of the earth and all the things on and in it. These are the words of the Creator, or Ormaz, the Jehovah. So, brethren, if I may digress for one more second again, you know what we're doing here? We are actually experiencing one of the promises that the Creator said he was going to do. He said he was going to let us read the heavenly records to go along with our spiritual and sense reasoning. He said he was going to add this. That's what we're doing right now. In essence, basically what he was saying is, in addition to that spark we all got inside of us to want to know the Creator, he's going to add to it by letting us read the heavenly records. That's what we're doing right now with the OAHSPE. We read in the libraries of heaven. It says, the substances of things going and coming forever, creating and dissolving from one shape into another. These are the Ormazdian law, the Jehovah law. By virtue of his presence, these things speak, meaning impress upon one another forever. What these things speak upon the soul of man, right upon the soul of man. These are man's knowledge, acquired by the Ormazdian law, the Jehovah law. What these things speak upon the souls of angels, right upon the souls of angels. These are the angels' knowledge, acquired by the Ormazdian law, the Jehovah law. So in essence, it's like whatever witnesses we get from just like meditating, looking at the creation, seeing the witness of the Creator, becomes ingrained in you. You fake this. It becomes ingrained. You get messages from your senses, the things you look at. It becomes on your soul. And that's what it's like. That helps you to germinate, grow spiritually, to elevate eternally, is basically what he's saying there. The Ormazdian law is what he's going to use to get you to spark your understanding in the spiritual. That's the Ormazdian law through the things that are created. Like the Bible says, Creator is known by the things that he says that the unseen testifies of the things that are seen. It says, God said, this also is the Ormazdian law. Look at that. Perpetual growth. That's a law. Command you to grow. Even people who do not receive the witness of your faith this right now, they're commanded. It's a law. It's the Ormazdian law. They at some point will. That's why I say that all the world is going to subscribe to the OAHSPE and whatever word the Creator gives us, man. All the world, no one's going to be left behind. At some point, everybody's going to get on love train, you know. Thank you, angel of water. Perpetual growth. That's the Ormazdian law. Perpetual growth. We're born now. We have to elevate, and we're gonna do it. Gonna. It's just some are gonna do it quicker than others. We gonna do it though. I remember I was dating a girl. She said, "There's only one thing I hate people saying." I said, "What's that?" She said, "I'm gonna." I'm gonna. I'm gonna. God said, this also is the Ormazdian law, perpetual growth, as man being brought forth out of what was not an entity, therefore becoming an entity. Got a footnote here that says, that is, you came forth out of the elements. In other words, before conception, you were not an entity. And with conception, you became an entity. Etchale! Hey, I'm afraid to call you brother or sister. You're a brother. Khan? I don't know. I forget. Oh, I forget. Anyway, welcome. Thetis. How about that? Yeah, that covers both. Good to see you. Oh, brother. Okay. I'm sorry, brother. I forgot. I didn't know. All right. Anyway, we read in the Ormazdian law, name of the video. So perpetual growth, that's the Ormazdian law. Ormazdian law. Creator said that he was going to give us creation, was going to give us words, letters that was going to spark understanding, causing us to germinate and elevate for those who exercise that spark that each of us have, that choose to use their free will. It says, as man being brought forth out of water was not an entity, therefore becoming an entity, meaning before conception. This sin is brought about by Ormazdian law, perpetual growth. It says, with capacity in man for life everlasting, with capacity to acquire knowledge and power forever, and never attain to the Almighty, like a road on which a man may run in full liberty forever, never come to its end, rejoicing on his journey. This is the Ormazdian law. Isn't that something? The footnote says, and of course, the further along the road of light one gets, the closer one gets to EOE in your attributes compared to those just starting out. So, like I was saying earlier, basically the benefit of you brethren who are faithless right now, it's just that you're choosing to exercise your free will to go for you're higher up on the spiritual ladder. You know what I mean? I mean, is from what I can understand. If you have the ability to believe, then you're that much closer to glory and blessing as we approach our the end of ourself. It's like we're as you elevate in the higher, from people who right now they are stagnant in their faith and their belief. They're not elevating. They're just kind of hanging around in midair. But there are brethren who are elevating, and they're going from glory to glory. Like the Bible says, we go from glory to glory in our experiences. That's the basic difference between a faithless and an unbeliever. You are availing yourselves of the promises of the Creator. We're just further along, and we won't realize these things until we actually end up in the spiritual realm. It says, as actions of corporal substances produce light, as light is the expression and speech of certain corporal changes, so it's Ormazdian, the master light, the creator, that which illuminates the soul of man, making man conscious that he is making man express his impressions. This is the Ormazdian law. This is the ever-presence that never terminates. This is a great mystery here. So the way we interpret what we receive is expressing the Creator in our way. That's how each of us are. We're individuals. It's like we're a multicolored garment. Each of us have a way of expressing Creator based off of what our corporeal senses, our corporeal senses, how we interpret things. It says, though worlds come into being and go out of being as such, yet Ormazdi remains. He is forever, and within him all creations are created. These are the Ormazdian law, the Jehovian law. So to summarize, Ormazdian law is perpetual growth. And you know what? I read in the OAHSPE, it said that, the kingdom, and I think Creator was talking about Etheria. Now, I could be wrong. I don't know if, I don't remember. I don't think he was talking about first, second, or third resurrection. Now, I think he was talking about Etheria, where he said every day is better than the day before, and it's never the same. How do you like that? If you can't dream about these things, man, you're really killing yourself. If you got to be able to dream, man. Hope. Because as you can see here, the Creator, he's taken away all hopes for the current reality, the carnal, the physical, the corporal, the kingdom of men. He's just taking he's taking away the kingdom of men. It's even hard to, when you see how hard other people have it and you have it real good, even that still, it's hard on your conscience, man. It's hard on you. At some point, man, you want, like that saying, a joke ain't funny unless everybody laughs. That's the kingdom of the Creator. Equity, equality. That's the king, in a nutshell, that's the kingdom of the Creator right there. Again, man, I was listening to that meeting and the people were talking, and they were talking about the events over in the Middle East. And that lady, the video I was playing before I went on the live, it's all man's wisdom. It's all man's wisdom. We've gone thousands of years and we ain't gotten nowhere. We still singing the same old sad song. We got to rise up. We got to take it back. The rich man got his foot on my neck, and you're going to be singing that song for as long until the last man standing. That's what this reality they don't realize. But then when you try to talk about the Creator, they stone you with words. Okay, so that's the concluding of the reading of the Ormazdian law. What I'm going to do right now is just open it up and see if someone wants to share anything that what we read about. If someone, you click on the link, come in the room. Now, if not, then I'm gonna read from Frag and Patty, chapter 34. I was reading that, and it was I really liked it a lot. So let me see. I'm gonna open it up for like 30 seconds, and if anybody, let me put the link in the room so you can see that. I love that reading, man. I'm telling you, it's a law. Ormazdian is a law that for brethren who will exercise their free will, you want to exercise your free will, then the Creator's saying, go for it. If you want to learn of me. You see, Dave says, when Frag and Patty was conversing with C2, the Eon, C2 posts many Ethereum worlds, not one. Once it was repeated like, yeah. That video I did a couple of days back where it showed a map of the Ethereum worlds as compared to the Earth and all those circles, and it showed the sun, and the smallest Ethereum world was at least as big as the sun. The smallest one. And the Creator said that they were all different shapes and sizes. None of them were the same. And the glory was better, one day after the next, it was even greater, So if you can just receive it, man, you home free. You are home free. And Jamia's asking you a question, Dave. So I'm going to go about another minute if no one wants to come in. Are you guys afraid of me? You guys are afraid of me, right? I don't want to get in the ring with Yanqua, man. No. One day, man, this room is. And Dave, I seen you on Cosman's channel the other day. I didn't know he had it to where you could, I'm gonna bury the hatchet and go on his channel when he does a live. I'm gonna go on there with y'all. Help him build up his channel. Because really, once you get it started, we get to join in with one another. I think that's when it'll pick up steam. I've been thinking lately, man, of buying property in Arizona, or maybe, I don't know. I've been thinking about those brethren in Inyo Kern. I'm kind of checking them out to see how they're doing things. And I wonder if the Creator will bless us getting together. I wonder if that's what he wants. Does he want brethren to go in, buy property, and start building and establishing OAHSPE communities? I wonder. Say like you have property, you go get property, you start building on it, you get together with some brethren, get a little group of brethren to buy property and then start building on it. And then brethren who have been faithful for at least 5 years to have a community, because they're proven that they're kind of tested. So that would be, I wonder about that. Anyway, I'm just dreaming. Anyway, all right, no takers. So let's go ahead and read. Let's read Frag and Patty 34 because I think you brethren will like that. It's a nice read. So Frag and Patty chapter 34. And the Creator, I forget what led me to it. All I know is that there's a real blessing in it. I forget what he was talking about here. I know it's something. I forget. So let me just go ahead and read it. Now, Frag and Patty is another word for a son of God, son of the Creator. And may the Creator bless the reading of his word. Now, this chapter 34, I'm kind of jumping in the middle of the construct of what's been going on. So let's begin. It says, chapter 1, upon arrival, the Avalons and the Esnars of Ashtoreth and the trumpeters of the colony sang and played, being joined by the host aboard the vessels. When they ceased, Thule, assistant god of Ashtoreth, commanded the marshals to receive the host, foremost of whom were Yima and his attendants, preceded by his traveling marshals and 5,000 female harpers, led by Weatris, goddess of Boaz, Anna, in Etheria. After these came 10,000 marshals with Fragapati. After these came 10,000 swift messengers. Then Fragapati with Hapacha to his left and Hoab to his right. And these were followed by musicians, and finally came the hosts in general. So one god visiting another. Okay, that's all I know right now. It says, Yima ascended the throne at once, but Fragapati and his host stopped in the arena within the circuit of the altar. Beyond these were the guards of the lights, and still outside of these were the crescent members of the council. Okay, kind of dry reading right now, but it's going to pick up. Watch. It says, Yima said, in the name of Jehovah, I welcome you, O Fragapati, chief of Osbod and Goch Machala, to the throne of God. In his wisdom and power, I would have your honor, Ashtoreth, by taking possession in the Father's name. Okay. Without replying, Fragapati walked alone to the throne, saluting on the sign of high noon, which Yima answered in the setting sun. Yima stood aside, and Fragapati ascended and stood in front of the middle of the throne. He said, into your possession, O Jehovah, receive this, your throne. Hardly had Fragapati spoken when a light, bright as the sun, settled above his head, and a voice came out in the midst of the light, saying, to you, my son, Fragapati, and to your son, Yima, and to your gods and lords, and to all who follow them in my name, I bequeath this, my throne forever. Now check it out. He's talking about brethren who follow the Creator through the ancients, Fragapati being one of them. Look at what he said. He said, to all who followed them, talking about the ancients, he said, look, I bequeath this, my throne forever. That's talking to you, brethren, too. Did he not say to all who follow them, talking about the ancients, our gods and lords, those mentioned in the OAHSPE and others? It says, and to all them who follow in my name, I bequeath this, my throne forever. Look at this. He says, whoever becomes one with me shall not only hear my voice, receive my power, but also inherit that which he creates out of my creation. How do you like that? How do you like that? It's basically where, you know how you give a kid a mechanical set? You know what I'm saying? A mechanical set. Or, give him a Lego set, and watch what he build out of it. Now, the Creator is saying that's what the inheritance of faiths are. It's like he say, here, well done, good and faithful servant. You cross over. He says, there's yours. That's your inheritance over there. And then you go and look, and he show you the planet Saturn. He show you Saturn, man. Saturn. Saturn. It's all yours. My first creation is going to be Miss South Africa. Yeah. Miss South Africa. Forgive me, brethren. I get kooky sometimes, but I'm trying to just emphasize, see, it's like in this reality, how parents, they give their children the best they can. How come the Creator can't do the same thing? You mean he can't do the same thing? That's what he seemed to be saying, you know. All right, verse 7. It said, Jehovah's voice continues saying, whoever looks upon my works and says, behold, I cannot cope with these elements, is short in faith and wisdom. For I am not created in vain, that mortals or spirits cannot control my elements in their respective places. They shall improve the talents I have given them. Listen to what he's saying here, man. Can you, I mean, am I understanding this correctly? He's talking about you controlling the elements. He says, and you should be able to receive it, you know. I mean, if we are children, you know what I mean? And we are sons and daughters. And he's basically saying, you know, I mean, I'm going to ask for any lost loved ones, you know, to be regathered to them. I mean, it sounds like Psalm 34:7, what the Creator is saying here. Remember Psalm 34:7? I will give you the desires of your heart. That sounds like something a parent will say to me. Say, Creator, can I have my family back? Can you go ahead and gather them, bring them over to my ranch in Saturn? Now, you know, we're going to have a big vegetarian barbecue. Any one of us, you know what I mean? That's any one of us would be that way in our minds. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. You see Dave and Jamia. What do y'all got here? Okay, y'all talk amongst yourselves. All right. So it says, I made the earth wide and filled it with many things, but I gave man a foundation so that he could attain to the mastery of land and water and minerals of all the living. Yes, I gave him a corporal body to practice with, and as an abiding place for the assistance of his own soul. Man, I don't know about you, brother, but this is too much, man. This is amazing what I'm reading here. He said, I made the earth wide and filled it with many things. But I gave man a foundation so that he could attain to the mastery of land and water and minerals and of all the living. Yes, I gave him a corporal body to practice with, and as an abiding place for the assistance of his own soul. And so we see that today, where man, he has mastered the earth, the oil and the water and the resources and fire, but he uses it for corrupt purposes. So it's like the Creator, he's got to take it away. You know, you give a child something, you know how it is, parents, they take it away if they see how the child is using it, and, you know, they're not using it the way they should be using it. It's the same way here in our reality. In verse 9, he says, and I created atmosphere wider than the earth and filled it with all manner of spiritual things and with the substance of plateaus. But I also gave to the spirits of the dead talents by which they can attain the mastery of all things in atmosphere. Look at that. The spirits of the dead even have talents by which they can attain to the mastery of all things in the atmosphere. That's the afterlife. He said, and I created atmosphere wider than the earth and filled it with all manner of spiritual things. So there are spiritual things going on in the atmosphere. He filled it with all manner of spiritual things and with the substance of plateaus. But I also gave to the spirits of the dead talents by which they can attain the mastery of all things in the atmosphere. So it's not just here in corporality, but in atmosphere. Same way, people gifted to master the environment and where they are right now, even in the spiritual. That's a big mystery. And then verse 10, he says, whoever has attained to these things is like a traveling sun. My light is upon him. He prepares the place. Now, I could be wrong. I wonder about that. I mean, atmosphere. He's saying it here. I must be translating it I mean, am I reading that right? I created atmosphere wider than the earth, filled with all manner of spiritual things, and with the substance of plateaus. I think that means that according to your spirituality, that's where you reside. He says, but I also gave to the spirits of the dead talents. They have talents by which they can attain to the mastery of all good things in the atmosphere. Okay, see you, Jamia. Peace, love, and light. Verse 10, whoever has attained to these things is like a traveling sun. My light is upon him. He prepares the place, and my voice comes out of the light of it. Let my sons and daughters stir themselves up. Where they are gathered together in my name, I am there also. My hand is upon them. My power becomes one with them, and my voice is possible in their midst. Then the voice ceased. There were many present who had not previously heard the voice of the All-Light. And because of the brilliancy, they were blinded for a while, but presently restored. Ragapati then said, Hoab and Apakja come and sit on the throne. And they went up and sat on the throne. And in the same time, the Esnar chanted, Hail to great Jehovah's voice. His sons and daughters of thousands of years have returned once more to their native red star to proclaim his boundless glory. I think that's talking about the Cosmic era in our day. Ragapati, the era we're in right now, the brotherhood of man, the kingdom of God on earth. Ragapati said, in the Father's name, I proclaim a day of recreation to resume labor at the sound of the trumpet in the east. And now the hosts mingled together freely, buoyant with cheerfulness, and during the recreation of millions of Ethereans went out into the plateau, visiting the places of learning, the factories, the hospitals, and such places as belong to the lower heavens. Verse 13, on the next day, at the call of the trumpet, the people resumed their places, and after the music, Ragapati said, to you, O Thule, I will speak in the name of Jehovah. You are chosen by the Father to be assistant to Yima, Jehovah's son, during this time. See, there are many gods and lords and angels, so these different names we read about. Jehovah's son, Yima, Jehovah's son, during this dawn, which is near its end, and after that you shall be Lord and God of these heavens and of the earth beneath for 200 years. Because you are wise and good, the Father has raised you up, and great is your glory, so that you may have strength and power. You shall also be called Yima during your reign. For the time has now come to the earth when mortals must learn to know the gods, lords and gods who rule over them. So now we have the OAHSPE telling us names, spiritual, or things that we didn't know spiritually, of how the false gods, how they operate, how righteous gods, how they operate. We didn't know anything about Luamong. We didn't know about, the different false gods that are mentioned. Ethnochrist, I can't even remember the names of the other false gods, but there's a lot of them. Now we know who we have a name to put to them. The Baals and the Ashtaroths. And Uhaja. It says, during the coming 200 years, the earth will be traveling in my Orion fields, Guch Machala, and you shall be one with me in your dominions. Whatever you shall require from my hand, I will send to you. You shall therefore keep your place in order, and if you need an AG, I will send it. If you need Dan, I will send it. AG is like a density. I think it's a time of trial. AG, I can't remember. I know Dan is a high time. That's a time of enlightenment. Verse 16, most importantly, be less concerned about the spirits in your heavens than about mortals on the earth. Mortals must have sufficient aging so that race does not become extinct. They must have sufficient dance so that they do not become like beasts. So aging, I think that's a time of procreation. Aging, time of procreation, so that the race does not become extinct. They must have sufficient dance so they do not become like beasts, overstanding in the law. For which reason, every 11th year you shall number abracadabra. Abracadabra. The footnote on abracadabra is a census of mortals and angels would be made, and part of the enumeration was a listing of the grade and rate of each individual. Those individuals in the resurrection were tallied into a tablet called the abracadabra. There is more of this later on in OAHSPE. So somebody will take that and just totally disown the whole OAHSPE just because of that word right there. We'll take it and call they'll call the whole book a book of foolishness. And supply, for which reason every 11th year you shall number abracadabra. That's grades and rates of mortals and angels, and supply my swift messengers with these lists, and I will bring the elements of Gut Machala to bear upon your labor profitably to the Father. Secondly, be careful of too much leniency towards the spirits in the first resurrection. Do not allow them to abide with mortals as teachers. Remember that mortals love their dead kindred to the extent that they would deprive them of heavenly education for the sake of having them around. Remember also that the spirits of the recently dead who are entered as Hestians in all good heavens love their mortal kindred to the extent that they would seek no higher heaven than to linger around them on earth, which habit grows upon them so that in 2 or 3 generations they become druids, worthless to themselves, knowing little of earth and less of heaven. Okay, so I'm going to leave it right there because that will conclude the reading of his word. That was the book of Fragapati, chapter 34. So I'm going to open it up for a little bit and see if anybody wants to share if you have anything you want to comment on. If not, then I'll close the video. To summarize, the law of Ormazdian is we're going to, we live in a world where we're looking at many brethren they seem to be not elevating because of being tied to the earth, not elevating in your spirit. If you don't take advantage of the light that's within us. And also, I read something else that blessed my soul. I blessed myself something that blessed my soul. And it said, it was talking to brethren who seemed to be ministering and running in vain. And do you know the Creator said it don't matter whether you succeed or fail in your eyes. He said that you will rise. You will rise. Oh, Dave says, yep. Oh, JJ already, yep, JJ already did that very thing. Saw abracadabra and hollered witchcraft. Okay. Okay. Yeah. They look for any reason, man. All right, Dave. Welcome, brother.
Hey, there you are. Yeah, old JJ 7000 seen that word abracadabra, hollered, witchcraft, demonic.
Yep.
He doesn't understand it. And he said he supposedly read it. And I know he was definitely in Fragapati because he kept mispronouncing his name.
Yeah.
And didn't understand, where exactly Fragapati came from.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. his attitude, type of spirit he's got?
But he doesn't really want to learn. He just wants to poke fun at everything.
Yeah, he
And
just got a
it
bag.
really surprised me that he got old Woodson Payne on there, because old Woodson Payne, he's a pain in the butt.
Who is he? Woodson Bay?
Oh, he's that guy that keeps calling himself a survivor of the OAHSPE doomsday cult.
Why are we a doomsday cult?
Oh, I don't know. He said he was in one, and Brother Cosmo and Cal don't believe him. And the thing is, he never put anything up about OAHSPE in his original post. He used pictures from Sun Myung Moon, the Rastafarians, them groups, Marshall Applewhite, Bowen Peep, and Rancho Santa Fe, Jonestown, Koresh, and all kinds of that. But none of those groups are affiliated with the OAHSPE. He just used them to say that they were, or we are affiliated with them, or some kind of nonsense like that.
Yeah, I ain't surprised. People, when just like those guys, when you came on their channel with me, and their minds are made up, man. It's a mystery. That's what makes election such a mystery to me. It's just like the Bible say. I keep thinking about how it say there's going to come a time when people will not be able to hear sound doctrine, won't be able to hear it. And so you can talk to them about the murdering and the killing, and it don't resonate with them how that's not something, how that can't, how's that righteousness? I mean, that's the strongest point right there. You would think somebody would be able to see quickly, hey man, I don't want to go around, advocating murder and killing. How can I do that? And then on the other hand, it's talking about your brother's keeper and who is my brother and the Samaritan, and they just can't see it. They the vibration that's on them, and that's where the earth, the spirit of the false gods and their bloodlust, it's affected them because they got this mindset, at least the Israelites, everything is blood and destruction.
Not only them, but I believe all religions, all dogmatic religions have that same type of Judean spirit.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They they all follow right after what their leaders taught them. For the most part.
Yeah, I think they differ in the sense that some are really good with austerity. They love the austerity part of whatever they believe, where the strictness and the prayers and the actions, flogging themselves like they do over in some Middle Eastern places you probably heard of, where they actually whip themselves. They cut themselves and they draw their own blood, and it's like
the Catholics did that a long time ago.
The who?
Catholics, Roman
Oh,
Catholics.
really? They
Oh,
did
yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah. They flogged themselves. And a
Yeah.
lot of them saints, or supposedly, did the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if they do that now or not, but I don't know. Like I say, you figure all of the different denominations or sects of Christianity. Like I say, they all send their own little Jujan spirits, to their adherents, and they're the ones that are right. They got the truth, and nobody
Yeah.
else got it.
See, that's one thing that let me know that the OAHSPE is telling me the truth, because it identifies them too clearly. Drugian, Uzian type of spirit. It just identifies them too clearly for me. So that's the benefit I get. I mean, I look at people and I learn a lot from them. And it helps me to respect the power of these false gods to blind people. I never really understood how blindness exists, but you have to have something to compare it to.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm really, I'm really learning through watching religion, really. Religion is really teaching me a lot about the creator, really. You know what I mean? It's like he can leave you. We live in a world where people think you can't be deceived. That's the strongest power, I think, that false gods have today, is people think, the idea that religion it's got its foothold in the consciousness of men, because immediately they begin to think that this is the only good thing in the world. No one would ever play around with this, because you're talking about deception in the name of God, and God would never do that. And
the funny thing, even in their own Bibles, I ran across references talking about the lying pens of the scribes, or I can't quote it verse for verse like some people can, but I remember remembering those words, lying pens of the scribes.
The pens of the scribe are in vain. Yeah, this is what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
The pen of the scribes is in vain. And that's another thing. Verses that I never really understood before, never really knew before, are coming to light. I mean, the OAHSPE has opened up the Bible in ways I never knew could. I mean, so when we were in that room, I saw the work of evil, in living color, because I know that guy that I was talking to. I know him personally. And I know his character. And I know he's not the only one. And he truly loves his little kingdom, to where he's not really looking for truth. They look at him. When I went to one camp, and before he comes down there, when they see him coming, everybody comes to attention. See, a guy is not going to give that up. the Hebrew Israelites are famous for that, where when the elders show up, they give them, they show them a lot of respect, and
Yeah.
it hardens them to any other, you know what I mean?
That's what I wanted to say. I think Brother Sila Shalom ran a clip of Denzel Washington in a movie when he went to see who was that? That guy Farrakhan, was it?
Malcolm X.
Yeah, Malcolm X. When he went to see his leader, he kind of like stuck his head down and kind of wobbled in, wouldn't look at him in the eye like a person normally would. How do you say that? Kind of like sheepish. About the only term that I could think of.
Yeah, like he was humbling himself.
Yeah. Like that guy was like his God, or his leader of, and he was very, very kind of like on pins and needles, so he wouldn't do anything wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He was very deferential.
Yeah. That's the word. I couldn't think of it. But Sila Shalom, he put a clip of that up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, man, you show some depth a little bit of power, man. Like, what is it saying? Little power, little corruption corrupts absolutely, or something like that.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, guys are like that. If they get a little bit of power, man, with authority and respect, you think they're going to give that up right away? That's why that guy wouldn't hear us. And I looked at him when he was coming against us. I really looked at him. And one of the things that I like to do, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. I like to give money to test a man's character. I'll give him money to test his character, whether it's righteous or whether it's corrupted. And so I supported him. I supported him because I wanted to see how, he was going, whether he was going to I wanted to see how he was going to present. I'm having trouble finding. I wanted to see if it would change him. If it would change him, whether he would start to cater to me, wanting to treat me differently, or would he continue to be the same person? And I also used it so that I could remind him, in case he were to accuse me of having some agenda, that I would be able to tell him, look, man, I supported you financially to show you that I don't really have an agenda. I believe what I'm saying. And so that's one of the reasons why I'll give somebody money, so they don't doubt my sincerity. So that if I have an issue that I need to help, you'll know I'm not joking around with you. I'm sincere in what I'm trying to say. And so when we got on that video with him and he didn't want to treat me the way he should have treated me, that let me know all I needed to know about him.
Yeah.
He should have considered, like, hey, man, this dude was supporting me financially. He helped me out. He offered himself, to help wherever he could. And I did that, man, so that I would be able to have a witness with him. If I ever needed one, I wanted to have a witness with him to get him to listen to what I'm trying to. But when we went on that video with him and I saw how he treated me, it let me all I needed to know about his character in case, you know, for my confirmation, because I don't want to falsely accuse anybody. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't want to. So I saw with my own eyes the corruption that was in him, what he really was all about, which is he's power hungry. And he wants to keep that. He don't want the truth coming out. He don't want guys like me coming and talking to him. And that's if one guy's like that, then you know there's like 1,000 others that are like that. That's the pull of power. That's corrupting them. Like Tazariak, he's another guy that I look at, and I look at him and I behold him. They call him Captain Tazariak.
Yeah. In fact, I think Brother Sheila had a debate with him, but he wouldn't debate.
Yeah. I saw that, and that means a lot to me. That really means a lot. You know, some guys, when you start bringing out the truth, when you start bringing out hard-hitting things, they have these tactics where they start making it an argument. They start ad hominem attacks. That tells me all I need to know, because the character is one of the first things that lets me know whether I'm talking to somebody and whether they are, you know, if they are sincere or if they're not. And the Creator, he seems to point to that too. It's one of the ways that you can measure somebody. I even read just before I came on the live today, I read somewhere where it talked about how people, they get duped by men. I forget where it's at. I forget what I was reading. It was right there in the OAHSPE. And it talked about deception. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember. But men they know that, or was it a God it was talking about? It might have been talking about a God who knows that people, or a matter of fact, I was reading about, what's his name in Fragapati? Who was the one that, it said that, I think it was talking about Thotma.
Yeah.
And I was reading a study where it said that people were trying to run from the Drujas that were deceiving them through their arguments, and I forget, it mentioned something else. And so in an effort to get away from the deception that the people that were being deceived, they went and took certain rights, the rights of a newbie or something like that. And that came from another Egyptian false god, and that led them deeper into deception.
Yeah.
It's like, you remember that?
The false Osiris.
Yeah. There you go. And that's the same way today, man. It's the same way today. It's like, there are a lot of, I believe these people may be faithists because what they're hearing things that don't sit right with them, and they start looking for answers, but then they turn to other deception, and because they don't know how to listen to Jehovah inside of you.
Yeah,
you know, it's like they keep turning to the carnal, keep turning to the carnal. You know, it made me think of these guys. They get up there. There are guys in the world. That's where astrology has really helped me. I'm telling you the truth, brother. It's really, you might not know what I'm talking about. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
It's just the Creator is giving me a way to, because I'm subject to deception. I mean, you know, but he's giving me that so that I can quickly size up a person if I need to come to the voice of Jehovah. And so one thing I know, I'll give you an example. One thing I know in the world, Geminis are very good with words. With words, they can deceive people. They're like natural salesmen, like Donald Trump. He's a Gemini. And so I know that when I look at him, I try to size him up to see whether he's on his higher vibration or lower vibration. Now, when I look at his past and the way he treats women, a guy actually got on a radio station and talked about how he likes to treat women, real vulgar, but he's a chameleon. He can get in front of this group of people and identify with them. He can get in front of this group of people, this economic group. He's a man with he's got no character, He's like a glass of water. He can't, there's nothing, there's nothing to hold on to with him.
And
he blows with the wind.
Yeah, he goes whichever way the wind blows.
Yeah. He goes
when the last election, I was looking at that. He really didn't have any platform.
Yeah.
He'd say whatever came to his mind or whatever the people wanted at the time.
Yeah.
Now, if he was in Detroit, right, and they wanted factories reopened, we're going to do that. We're going to make America great again. We're going to do this, that, and the other, right? Yeah. Now, if he was down south, right, and they were talking about the economy and how to build up the black economy, right. We can do that.
He's a chameleon, man.
Go whichever way the wind went.
He's a chameleon, and he's better than most because
he wanted to make himself look like whatever the people wanted. Chameleon, definitely good. Green, brown, pink, even. Blend in with everybody else, and
there you go. He knows how to tap in to his audience.
Yeah.
All he has to do is see your color, and then he sees your culture, and then he taps into it. And he's good at it. He's a man of many words. Now, that tells me all I need to know about him right there. I know that his essence is that he will do for his own, meaning he will do for at the end of the day, he's going to get on the side of his people. Okay, I guess I can understand that. To the disadvantage of other people. I know that he's not like a John F. Kennedy. He don't have that type. Now, Kennedy was a Gemini too, John F. Kennedy, but he had character. He was different. Even though he had his discretions, he was a man of character. John F. Kennedy. That's why they got him. But Trump, he's
in fact, I think he was one of the greatest presidents in this time frame.
Yeah, because he had character, man. That's one thing. He stood up to the Israelis. I think that's why they got him. Because he said that he wasn't going to let them have nuclear weapons. I think
he stood up to Castro.
Was that Israel?
No, that was Castro, because what was his name? That old guy in the Kremlin there, Khrushchev. He was shipping nuclear weapons into Cuba for Fidel Castro. And when JFK found out about it, he said, "That ain't happening. You take him out of there or else."
Yeah, you're right. But he also told Israel he wasn't going to allow. That's why Israel had to steal the secrets. Remember that guy? I think it was Jonathan Pollard or somebody else before him. They stole the secrets for a nuclear reactor. They stole it. He told Khrushchev Kennedy told Khrushchev no missiles in Cuba, and he told Israel He wasn't going to let them have those nuclear technology.
Yeah.
And after that, and then he also told them that he said something where he did something else that made them kill him. I forget what it is. I think it had to do with something. He was going to make them register as foreign agents, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but he did two
Yeah,
things.
the Mossad, I believe it was.
Oh, I'm sure, man. I'm sure.
He was wanting to register the Mossad as foreign agents.
Oh, was it the Mossad? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Because the Mossad is something like akin to our CIA.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like the best.
Also on the Kremlin area.
Yeah, they're like the best in the world.
Yeah, they're the secret, kind of like secret police, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I read a book on Mossad when I was like 13 years old.
Of course, all these countries, even our own, go snooping and spying on all countries.
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah.
Each and every one of those countries have their own intelligence services.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and Israel is one of the best.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
They're one of the best at infiltrating, man. And, you know.
The one I was trying to think of back in those days was KGB.
Yeah, KGB.
The Russians had them. And, of course, we had the CIA.
Yeah. So you get a man in office and he's got character. Israel don't like them because they know they deal in corruption. They deal in buying off people. You know.
Oh,
Kennedy, have you heard the story about Nixon? Nixon, he got into politics. It said he read an ad where somebody came right out and said, we need someone basically who's corrupt. And do you know he answered that? Go ahead and Google it, man. He read an ad where somebody of influence, they put an ad in the paper for someone who was of dubious character or something like that. And he answered it, meaning someone who will do for the money. You know what I mean? Who will, and you're talking about you're talking about politics right there. And so he happened to have a little capability for politics and speaking and presenting himself and carrying himself. He was able to be used. And it all started because of that ad asked, for someone who, now whether it's whether or not it's a true story, I can't really say. I just remember coming across it. But when you talking about, if you got character and you talking about politics, those two don't mix, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You talk, you want to be moral and you want to stand, that's really, I think, why Carter didn't get anywhere. And he was probably the most moral president that the United States has ever had. Him, I think Lincoln, who was it? In other words, anytime you start, character and politics don't mix. And it's amazing. That's one of the things that amazed me about this country is they don't get it, man. You get guys every year that know how to play people. Again, Trump, he's one of them, man. That's what makes him so dangerous. He knows how to play people.
Yeah.
He knows that he get in office and people forget everything. You know what I mean?
The definition of politic is definitely a compromise.
Yeah.
And see, the thing is,
bad compromise.
when you're forced to compromise your morality, if you've done it once, It's just easier and easier and easier to do the second, third, and fourth time.
Yeah.
And then pretty quick, you just like the rest of them,
Yeah.
And you may start out good, but you don't finish good.
Yeah. And I have to be honest, Dave. I have to be honest, man. I'm sitting up here saying this stuff. That's why I'm glad the Creator doesn't put me on that, give me that opportunity. I mean, I imagine we all got it, but I can't imagine being able to hold up under all of that type of temptation. That's why I try to take it easy on politicians and just let the Creator deal with them. But because I consider myself, and if I got a high-paying job, I got honeypots everywhere trying to seduce me. I don't know if I can hold up, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if my character is strong enough. So that makes me look at people and be careful about, don't look down on them. I mean, the things they do, it's not me necessarily saying that I'm better than them. You know what I mean? But what it makes me see is that as human beings, man, we're weak and we are subject to corruption. We need another system. And the only system that will work, I remember my dad asking me one time, we were talking, he said, well, what type of government do you suggest? What type of government do you propose? And I said, I didn't know. I said, Pops, I don't really know right now. But now I would answer that with a OAHSPE theocracy. Let me see. My brother is saying something. He says, I got to disagree with you on that one, Dave. That's not the definition of politics. Oh, okay. What do you say is the definition of politics, Chuck? My dad actually used to be in politics. And I'm still saying these things, but I know I look at him, Dave, as a lesson, man. As a lesson that we can't, you know what I mean? I'll say for myself, I don't sit up there and say I'm better than anybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm careful of saying stuff like that. Because if we were put in that situation, would you be able to stand up?
What's your brother's definition?
Oh, hey, Chuck, you say I got to disagree with you on that one, Dave. That's not the definition of politics. I mean, actually, there are really a lot of 1,000 definitions of politics. I don't think he's saying you're wrong. He's just saying that he's got a different opinion. He says it's really a compound word.
Yeah.
Oh.
I heard that one too. Yeah. Holy kicks. Yeah, many bloodsuckers. Yeah.
That was good, man.
Definitely a good definition. Yeah.
That was pretty good, man.
I gotta agree with you, brother, on that one. Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty good, man. Yeah, I have to, but I still am careful, man, because I consider myself, if I was in that situation, man, I wanted to get down on that guy from New Jersey, Menendez, the second time, 4 years. He's back in court again for corruption. And I can see where the Creator said, you basically got to empathize with these people, man. You got to learn empathy for them because they don't know what they're doing. They got equal to an addiction and they can't break it. In this case, it's love of money, and we all have our own addictions one way or another. I mean, we're under the Hebrew tetracts.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something spiritual, man, And we live in a country, if you notice, where we live in a country where people take that bait, man. I'm trying not to take that bait anymore. of being so critical of people. That's bait to get you to lower your spiritual elevation. And you attacking somebody else, you're lowering your spiritual elevation. That's the way a faithist should think, man.
Yeah.
You know, because if we were in that situation, we can't, you know, if we had a gun put to our head, we can't be sitting up there talking about how what we would do or how brave we would be. You know.
Well, there's levels to resistance.
Yeah.
It depends on what you know and what you can do. If somebody had a gun to my head, I mean, right in the back of my head, I mean, pressing the barrel right against my head.
Yeah.
That gun only shoots in one direction. Right? You select that gun, it's going to fire maybe, but it ain't going to hit you.
Yeah.
If you hit the wrist side hard enough,
right,
with the flat of your hand right here, that gun going to go flying because the cords in that ain't going to is going to jar them right quick.
Right.
And it's going to open, that gun's going to go flying, it ain't even going to go off. Now, what you do after that, right? That's your levels of resistance. Do you press forward on an attack, right? Or do you just say, don't try that again, you know, and let it go?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm talking about when you face with the moment of truth, whatever it is.
Well, it's like JJ was saying, well, I'm going to come in, I'm going to sit down on your couch, I'm going to take your woman, I'm going to do this, that, and the other, whatever. You know, during that debate. Wow.
You were talking about our call to be non-resistant?
Yeah. And you know, he says, you're all non-resistant, so you ain't going to be able to stop me, you know. Well, a lot of times,
man, you know.
A lot of times, it depends on the mindset or what the person's thinking about. Now, if I was thinking about my military career, right, and he comes to the door and walks right in, well, I tell you, I might just get up and show him what the combat pit taught me, you know.
Yeah.
And
hey, to be honest, man, I agree with you.
By running on the attack, because what the Army always taught is your attack is your best offense. Or how do they go? Oh, offense is your best defense. There it is.
Yeah, that's where I think about what the Creator says, man, and I don't see how I can comply with letting somebody just take advantage of me like that.
Yeah.
I can't see how I would allow that. I just can't. I hope I can, but I think that's why I think the Creator, that he recognizes that too, that people will take advantage of you if they find out. I think that if people knew what faithists were called to be and we were gathered together, and you read that too in the OAHSPE, where they were getting plundered. Then now the Creator, he showed them how to build mounds, to keep out the Druges.
Yeah.
Those mounds that you see in Ohio and over the place, all over the place. And I think that it's not his will that you just sit around and you get plundered, that you find a way to avoid it or escape it. I don't know exactly what that way is when you're dealing with somebody who wants to violate you. I mean, I think, and in this day and age, people are, I mean, out here at least from what I can see, and then what I see on the media, people, life don't mean nothing. When people hear about children and women getting killed like that over in Gaza, you know, the message that sends is, hey man, life, it don't mean nothing to me. With the young, that don't mean materialism means more to me than life. That's a message that's getting sent.
Well, we're also getting bombarded with that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's been drilled into us and bombarded into us. You know, we don't even think about the implication anymore.
Yeah, we're desensitized.
Desensitized, yeah.
You know,
that's what they're doing through the media, desensitizing us.
So when I look at the world, man, I look to learn a lesson. You know what I mean? Of what the Creator says and what man says. And I look at who's telling me the truth, who's showing me the better fruit. And, you know, I test the fruit.
Yeah.
Meaning, how will it turn out for me if I go down this road or if I go down that road?
Yeah.
So when I look at people, I use people to learn a lesson, man. You know, that's how I use people. That's why I look at, you know, the world around me. I look at it to learn a lesson, man, you know, to learn a lesson. Because I realize that, you know, we're all just one step from being in the belly of the beast. All you got to do is slip one time, man.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll be
easier to go downhill than it is to go uphill.
That's right. That's what the OAHSPE says too. You remember reading that part?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The Creator said it's easy for man to, it's like he gets blown up. The Creator blows him up. And then he's like air coming out of the balloon.
Yeah.
You know, gotta keep
we're always moving. Either we're moving upwards or we're moving downwards. We're never stationary at all.
That's right. That's right.
We're either going up or we're going down.
That's right.
Sometimes we take one step forward and two steps back.
That's right. Let me show you something.
Sometimes it's two steps forward and one step back.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, we still have to, while we're in the physical, we've still got those physical tracks to contend with. Right.
Man, that shows you the power of the Creator, man. You know what I mean? I mean, it was OAHSPE that brought that on us, wasn't it? Wasn't it OAHSPE? I know. I think I recall reading where the Creator said it was an inheritance of men. He was going to allow it. The Hebrew Tetrach, you remember that?
Yeah.
Now, what was the reason?
What those tetrachs are is the evil of blood and bone. Ormazdian.
Yeah. Armenians, yeah. But didn't OAHSPE wasn't he the one that put that on men, the tetrachs, the negative dispositions?
No, the negative dispositions come from the flesh itself.
No. It said that I think it was given to OAHSPE to put that on men. You don't remember that? Because at some point, the Creator said that he was going to allow that he calls it an inheritance of men. And somebody started that. I think it was OAHSPE. You don't remember that? Let me see if I can find it.
No, actually, there was a god before Anuhasaj.
Okay.
Uh,
Who was
and,
that guy?
and
I
that
forget.
and that was the false.
Osiris. Was it? Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
Osiris was under Anuhasaj.
Well, I think it was Enuhashas that brought the Hebrew tetracts. I think it was. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Hold on a second. This is interesting. See if I can find that real quick.
Actually, the tetracts kind of go along with the biblical 7 deadly sins. Similar. I'm not going to say exact, but they're similar.
Yeah. I see it that way too. Hold on a second. I think it was Enuhajah though that brought that on men. Hold on one second. That's good to know.
Now when they sank Pan, when Af sank Pan, the Ihans brought that also with them for people to remember.
Oh yeah?
That went way back to the sinking of Pan. Those Hebrew tetracts.
God said, instruct the lords that the time is now come to reveal to mortals, especially to the Ihans, the 7 tetracts. For these are the inheritances of all men born on the earth.
Yeah.
And so Anash, which is persistent stubbornness, by word or thought, Anash, that's one of them. Zema, wicked device. Ra, delight in being bad. Belial, which is worthlessness. Avon, which is vanity and self-conceit, man. What do you got to say about that, Dave?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Vanity and self-conceit. There's a lot of people in that.
Yeah, that is America. If ever there was a place, slander and reporting of evils, Dibah, and Satan, who is to be a leader, especially to the delight of the other 6 entities.
What book are you in? 10:3. That's Af, isn't it?
Af, yeah.
Yeah, that's that had to do with the sinking of Pan. Yeah.
So that's the only thing. I mean, now I didn't read where it said how it's. He only said the time has come for men to know about the tetracts. He only said the time has come. Now I recall reading where it was Anahajah who was going to bring that, the evil, or Anahajah, or maybe Anramanius, like you were saying.
Yeah, because Anramanius how do I say that? Basically, corporeal.
Yeah.
And Corpor has a tendency.
Yeah, but they all. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. You said some are Ethereum born, some are Earth born. Okay, I get it.
Oh, that's dealing with the gods.
Yeah.
Or true God, I should say. Yeah, the first, I want to say 2 or three, yeah, the first two, Sethantes, and the next one right after him were Assyrian rule, and
I see.
after that, God's rule, they were earthborn gods from
I
this
see.
planet.
Okay. Interesting. That's interesting.
Now,
Patty was Ethereum born, right? Patty was Ethereum born.
Oh, yeah. At the dawn of Dan, the Ethereans come, right, to check on us and see how our gods are progressing. You see how that works? It's like, okay, I'm your teacher for a while. Now you're going to be the teacher, and I'm going to be the superintendent, right? And they'll let the teachers and the principals teach, but they'll come back and check on them.
Right.
And this checking times every 3,000 years.
Right. Hey, Dave, you know something I found interesting? I was looking at the UN the other day, United Nations.
Yeah.
And it seems like all these formal bodies, they sit in the form of a crescent. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that something? And some of them even have somebody in the middle.
Yeah.
You know? Just like the heavenly councils.
Yeah.
So that, and then, you know, you look at forms of governments, and the OAHSPE calls them div and diva. So sometimes when I read the OAHSPE, I just change the name so I can understand it better. And they've set up after OAHSPE definitions, these governments.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like
what's above, so that which is above, so below. Yeah.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Isn't that something?
In fact, before the United Nations, and I want to say back before World War I, even they had a similar body called the League of Nations.
Yeah. And they were situated, without even looking at it, I bet you that they were no, wait a minute. Now, when you look at the United Nations, the way they're situated, they got a platform, a raised platform, and then they got rows of audiences, okay? But there are some international bodies that are seated in the form of a crescent.
Yeah.
And then they got some people in the middle. Now they got to have gotten that, man, from false gods. They have to. I mean, it's just too perfect, man.
Well, even in OAHSPE, sometimes those crescents are formed. Even from the Etherean gods.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but what do you think about what I put in Rome?
It all depends on the what they're being used for, right? The intent. You see,
yeah.
You can't tell from the symbology itself, but look at the symbology in context with what intent it's being used for.
Well, what do you mean? I mean,
okay.
I think that they do it they conduct government business.
Okay. Yep. Here, let me give you a good example.
Okay.
You know what a swastika looks like, correct?
Yeah.
Right. There is a religion that was based I'm going to say 909, about 950,000
Oh, I know where
years
you're
ago,
going. I know where you're going. Yep.
right?
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
it was called
Yep.
Jainism, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
one of the main symbols of that
Symbols.
was the
Yeah.
swastika, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, to them, that swastika, right,
Was a
formed,
symbol of righteousness.
yeah, was a symbol of righteousness from Pan,
Yeah.
where the whirlwinds separated the fleets, right, of
Uh-huh.
Shem,
Uh-huh.
Japheth, uh, and Gautama. There was another one too. But you understand what I'm saying? Though
Yes,
that
I do.
symbolizes the whirlwind, right?
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
uh,
Vortex.
old Adolf Schicklgruber, right? He used that same symbol,
I know.
right? So that's why I'm saying you can't tell by the symbol. You got to see the intent behind the symbol.
Right. Hey, were you poking fun at Hitler's name when you said Hickelgruber or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what his dad's name is? You said that without even knowing what his dad's name is. His dad's name is here. Let me do it together. Live and in color. Check out what his dad's name is. Now remember what you just said.
Yeah.
Now check this out. His dad's name is Alois Schickelgruber.
Well, I'll be.
Hold on a second. We were talking when I was trying to say it. Now hold on a second. Check this out. What is Adolf Hitler's father name? No, what?
According to Wikipedia,
Here
Alois
it is
Hitler,
right
born
here.
Alois
Look at-
Schicklgruber, the 7th
Oh,
of June
okay.
1837
Okay.
to the 3rd of January 1903,
Okay.
was an Austrian civil servant
Okay.
in the
Quiet,
customs service,
quiet.
and the father of
Quiet.
Adolf Hitler, dictator of Germany
Stop.
from 1933 to
Quiet.
1945.
Stop. Check it out, Dave.
Well, I'll be. And that's not a coincidence.
Huh?
I said that's not a coincidence. Spirit must have had something to do with that one.
Yeah,
That just came right out. You know. Yeah, you understand that's not a coincidence.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring that out. You know that his dad, you know who his grandson is, right?
No.
You know
I've
that
studied a little bit about World War II, but not a great study.
Adolf Hitler's grandson is Barack Obama.
Really?
Yeah. Check it out, man.
His grandson.
His mom was Hitler's granddaughter.
Huh. Well,
Yeah.
I thought I thought his wife Eva Braun died with him in that bunker.
Well, they say that he moved to Argentina. He died. That Hitler died in Argentina, and that he used a body double. But there's a picture of. Well, no, wait a minute. That's a picture of Hitler with Theresa May, the Prime Minister of Britain, and Angela Merkel, the Prime Minister of Germany at one time. And I think it's somebody else. But it just shows the leadership is in the blood. Barack Obama is his grandson.
Huh.
Yeah, through his mom. His mom married a Kenyan. So I thought that That tickled me to death, man. You said that Shickle group. I like that, man. You were talking, you had to be, that was spiritual right there.
Yeah,
like
like I said, that wasn't any coincidence, and it just came out naturally, you know.
Yeah, that was something.
That's how come you know you're speaking from spirit. It just flows.
Yeah, that was pretty good, man. I like that. That, you know, that was weird. But you know, the creator, I think that for me, he's ever since I do see now, I think that ever since April 8th, that we've been on a slippery slope, brother. I really think that ever since then, things have really heated up. And I think it's mainly with what's going on in the Middle East. And I don't know if you heard of the recent event with what the bombing of Rafah. That very well could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, because it's all over media where people see the cat is out of the bag, man. You know, it's like Israel was saying, hey, everybody knows what we're all about. They know our corruption. They know our mode of operation. And you wait until America really, really, really finds out about who was behind 9/11. You know, don't say it. I know you know who I'm talking about, but you wait, man. And the creator, he could be holding that out, or not the creator, but he could be holding back that revelation until the time is right. Because right now, America is still asleep as to what happened. We're really still, we're like a bulging dam when it comes to Israel. It's like we're in that fog you're in right when you're waking up before you're fully awake. That's where America is right now. They're under a fog. You know, you're wiping your eyes, you're yawning, and then you're stretching, and then you come to yourself. That's where we are right now. Politically, geopolitically, spiritually, we're in Cosmin. So the awakening is certainly, it's certainly, you know, going on right now with spiritually seeing, you know, the creator, like he said, he letting us read heavenly records, heavenly libraries. You remember that prayer?
Well, you can do that, you know, by going out of the body also. Yeah,
I don't know.
But the good thing about OAHSPE is that now you don't have to, because the libraries of heaven are right there in that book.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point, man.
The weekend, what I'd been thinking about all weekend was CERN.
Why?
Now that what do they call that? Hydrogen collider?
Yeah.
Hadron collider.
What about it? Hydrogen. Yeah.
Hadrogen. Yeah, they're looking to create or find out how the universe was created.
Yeah.
And you know, every time they start that thing up, they collide with something, you know, in that little race thing, and they find out, you know, what happens with these, I guess, atoms when they go faster than light, or you know, something like that. Now, I'm thinking of also all the different dimensions that were created when the universe was created. Now, what happens if we're not on the same timeline we were on? Would we know it or would we not know it? Now, that'd be a conundrum right there.
Well, I don't even know how to think about that.
Would some of us have different memories of certain events if the timeline were changed to a different frequency or a different dimensional time shift?
Well, I saw a video where a lady was claiming that the past never is always present. I don't know if that has anything to do with what we're talking about, but wouldn't that mean that the past is already set in stone and we would have the same memories about it as? I mean, I don't know if I'm addressing what you're asking, but the past doesn't change, does it?
No, but on a different
timeline.
timeline.
We have the same consciousness back then that we had then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if we were on a different timeline in a different dimension, like a parallel universe.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Would we know something switched?
Yeah. What would our perspectives be?
Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that's what I got thinking about all weekend. Yeah, while you was off while I was waiting for you to come back on live.
That is pretty interesting when you think about it. I read some of those. I was listening to some of those near-death videos, and one lady, she said that the books, the libraries of heaven, that I listened to one lady say that, now I remember the lady saying she knew everything about the universe. I don't know if I'm going along with what you were saying.
Yeah.
And then another lady was talking about the libraries of heaven.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that I found that to be pretty interesting. She said when she was in the spirit, she said she knew everything. Mathematically, she said she was waiting in this room and she decided to do the it's like she was just playing around with quantum physics.
Yeah.
Just hanging out, I think I'll do a quantum physics, do some theory here, I mean, just another level, man. Really makes you wonder, man, about the heavens.
Oh, yeah.
So, brother, I think I'm gonna go ahead and close it down, I guess. And
okie dokie.
Have you visited that the Bible study?
Which one?
Have you thought to visit that?
Which one?
The one I got I got the information in my room.
Oh, with Mike Wallace.
The Wednesday, yeah.
I did a long time ago, but my phone doesn't work that good anymore.
Oh, okay.
I've got to get the battery replaced, and I'll be doing that come Well, coming right up this June.
Hey, let me ask you a question before I let you go. What do you think of my idea? I'm just curious. What about trying to form a conglomeration of brethren to buy land in Arizona and then to have a community like Jim Jones?
Well, that'd be all right, just as long as it ain't quite like Jim Jones's.
Of faithists. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But it keeps crossing my mind, like, you know, you could do it. You could do it like, you know, you get some land and then we build on it and then say, like, we invite brethren who have been faithists for like 5 years at least. I mean, it's just a theory, just an idea. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that.
You know, you get tried and true, brethren.
A lot of people are definitely thinking about that. Brother Cosmo Cal. Yeah, brother Cosmo and Cal, he's thinking about that. So is brother Sealer Shalom and sister Intuitive Goat. They're definitely looking around for something like that.
I mean, well, shoot, man, I wouldn't even qualify. You know, because I'm sitting here saying, you know, brethren of at least like 5 years, you know, they're tried and tested, so to speak, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they can receive the OAHSPE and the dictates, you know. I just think it's a great idea, man. You know, I would really get a kick out of that. You know, you buy some property. About how many acres would you need for like a group of like 100 brethren, do you think?
Oh, shoot!
About how many acres you think?
I wouldn't know, but it should be a pretty good amount. I'd say 50, 75 acre.
Say again, I'm sorry.
I'd say somewhere around 50 to 75 acres.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea, man. I really do. You know, where we could build homes. We could, I mean, at least to start, you know, we probably wouldn't be here on the earth to see it come to full fruition, but I just think that's a fantastic idea, man. You know,
you got to remember, you can't let the community get over 3,000 people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The OAHSPE says that.
Yeah.
I think it would be a project for the younger generation, though. I mean, but I don't see why we wouldn't be able to start
it would definitely be an ongoing project.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think that's a great idea, man. Fritz says 3 year, like start out with brethren 3 year or older in the faith.
But how in the world is it that we can separate ourselves from us?
We have to establish connections. I mean, the Creator, He may answer it. I think that we have to establish like a way for resources. I think that we have to deal with us in that matter, at least until we can become self-sufficient. I mean, we have to still deal with the world, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For utilities and for resources and for industry.
Well, utilities, we could be able to put up our own solar panels.
Yeah. Now I heard about. Do you have them? Are they practical?
Well, I would in Arizona they would be.
Oh yeah.
Same thing with wind turbine.
Yeah, yeah. Or how about
And
EOE? You know?
yeah,
Well,
that
brother,
was
we cracked the subject, maybe we can keep it going.
yeah.
Oh, I think that's the way things
We should get Sister Intuitive Goat on here, and she can tell more about that because we've been talking about that for forever. Same with Brother Cosmon Cal,
uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and
Man, I
same
think that's a
with
great
Brother
idea.
Sheila Shalom. We've uh, uh, discussed a lot of those brothers and sisters been looking into the viability of getting our own land and setting up our own colony.
Yeah. Well, I think the brothers in Inyokern, if they already got something going, then maybe we should just help them build up what they got going.
Well, I don't know if they got anything solid yet, but I'm saying they're looking into it. You see,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
They're looking at various properties and here, there, and all over the place, but
Yeah.
they haven't put any money down on it yet, should I say?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
They're not
Man, that's
invested into it or
yeah.
the place yet.
Man, that's a fantastic. Oh man,
But it's in the thinking and planning stage.
Yeah.
So, like
would
I
be
say,
all in on that. That would be a great
you might
idea.
want to get with them and figure out what they got, figured, or whether it's going to be Arizona, Utah, or somewhere in the east, or hopefully not out of the country.
Well, you talk about community.
That's also a possibility.
Right. Yeah, I think that that the decision where to do it is the biggest hurdle, and then to the land where the climate. Yeah, I can't handle cold weather states, so I have to be out here or in Arizona.
Yeah, well,
but
northern Arizona can get a little chilly, especially up around Flag.
Yeah,
but
not
southern
Tucson,
Arizona's
man.
good.
Oh man, that is, except for in the summertime, man. That's got to be just a little short of hell so far as the heat. But that's
well, like I say, heat don't bother me, but
yeah, it makes me crazy.
yeah.
All right, brother.
Well,
all right, let's
maybe
go ahead and take a wrap,
maybe
man.
you could take a little vacation for those 4 or 5 months up on the res.
The res, where's that?
Well, that's up in Navajo Nation Reservation.
In Arizona?
Yeah. And the Navajo Reservation is the biggest reservation of Native Americans in America.
I'll be dang.
You didn't know that? Navajo Nation about the size of West Virginia.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how they live, man.
Well, they got their own government. They're a sovereign people.
I'm going to check them out, man. I like to see how they live. Are
Well,
they
really? They're pretty good. They hadn't done a lot with tourism and economy, Canyon de Chelly, you know. They have horse tours up there. In fact, I worked for Justin So for 20 years or better. Well, it's on my Facebook page anyway.
All right, brother. Well, let me wrap it up, man. And, you know, I'm going to keep bringing it up.
Okay, brother. There's my little peace and unity sign.
All right. Yeah.
You take care now, and we'll see you on the next slide.
Right to you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Shalom. All right, brethren. Thank you for joining me. I want to give thanks to the Heavenly Father, Earthly Mother, for the opportunity to really try to be a light while I'm in this reality. Thank everybody for joining me. Pray the Creator bless you, give you increase, elevate you in your spirit, protect you, especially in this time we're living in. So until I see you on video again, peace, love, and light. Shalom.